Welcome to video 3 of your webinar blueprint. I'm your webinar blueprint guide, Jeff Winberg. In the last video, we talked about coming up with the content of your webinar and performing it. In this video, we're going to get technical. But if you don't consider yourself tech savvy, don't worry. I'm going to break things down so you'll be able to walk away knowing exactly what tools you need and how to use them. There's nothing worse than planning and preparing an amazing webinar, promoting it, having people register and attend, only to have it go wrong because you're tech. It's crazy frustrating, but don't worry, we've got you covered. We're going to make sure your tech is straight so your webinars are a success. There are both hardware tools like mics and software tools like webinar software that you'll need to use. So we're going to cover it all, but first we'll start with the hardware you'll need to use. You'll need a computer with a webcam, an internet connection, and a set of headphones. These are the 3 basic pieces of hardware you need for your webinars. It's pretty simple, right? Before we move on to the software side of things, let me give you a couple of pro tips. For best performance and to ensure you don't lose your wireless signal, you should try to connect your computer directly to your modem or router with an Ethernet cable. A common question we get asked is, can I run a webinar on a smartphone or a tablet? Great question. Webinar software is not really designed for mobile devices. It's kind of a pain. However, WebinarNinja makes it a breeze. WebinarNinja allows you to run and attend webinars on any mobile device. Now, let's talk a moment about your headphones. While studio quality headphones are nice, you don't need something fancy to get started. A set of Apple earbuds that came with your phone will work just fine. Headphones allow you to hear the audio if someone else is talking or you're showing a video without the same audio going into your mic. When you don't use headphones, attendees will hear a weird echo that's very disturbing. Speaking of mics, let's talk about something that most people overlook when doing webinars: their audio. Audio is almost more important than the video, so much so that you can have fantastic sounding audio and subpar visuals and still be okay. The reason is people can still hear and understand you. If your audio is bad, it's hard to ignore. It's intrusive and it's hard to get used to. So a great mic at an affordable price we recommend is the Audio-Technica ATR 2100. It's about $70 on Amazon and it's a USB mic, so it's very easy to use. As I mentioned, audio is almost more important than video. That said, video is still very important, and you can decide between 2 styles of video for your webinars. You can either do on-camera video, slides and screen sharing, or both. The easiest way to get started is by using presentation slides, kind of like this video series you're watching right now. The reason I say this is because it doesn't require you to be on camera. You can upload your PowerPoint slides right inside WebinarNinja and control them from the same screen you're using for your webinar. However, like we talked about in one of the previous videos, forming a connection with your audience and building trust is easily done when you're on camera because people can see you. If you're going to be on camera, you need to have high quality 1080p video. If you're like 1080 what? Don't worry, the Logitech C920 is a fantastic webcam that produces high quality 1080p video, and it's also around $70 on Amazon. Of course, start with what you have available and upgrade as you can, but definitely get a great mic. And again, we recommend the Audio-Technica ATR 2100 and get a great camera if you can, and we recommend the Logitech C920. Now, let's talk about the space you run your webinars in for a minute. It's ideal to be in a quiet, distraction-free, well-lit space. You want to make sure that your webinars have your full attention and you have your space on your side. If you're worried about your lighting, just run your webinars facing a window that brings in natural light. That should do the trick. Always have the light in front of you, not behind you. Okay, so that's all of the hardware you'll need to run great webinars. But what software do you need? Software is really where all the magic happens, and it's what your audience members or customers experience. And even though I'm part of the WebinarNinja team, which in our humble opinion is the best webinar software out there, that said, I know you have choices. If you decide to use something else besides WebinarNinja, the process has a lot of moving parts and looks something along the lines of this. You'll need the webinar software, which costs around $3,500 per year. You'll need a landing page builder to be able to market and register your visitors for the webinar, and this costs around $800 a year. Then you'll need an email marketing software so you can have emails go out to your registrants to remind them of the webinar, as well as send info like the replay page or an offer that you've made. And that's another $1,200 a year. When it's all said and done, that's over $5,000 a year for all the tools that you'll need to make your webinars work. And worst of all of these moving parts aren't really designed to work with each other easily. You have to really hobble together all the different tools and hope it all works the day of the webinar. This is why we created WebinarNinja. We wanted an easy way to do all of this without worrying and wondering if it was going to work on the day of the webinar. Plus, it's a fraction of the price. With WebinarNinja, all you need is WebinarNinja. All the moving parts are included and they all work together seamlessly. With WebinarNinja, you get the webinar software, registration pages to market and register your visitors, email marketing built in, chat software, webinar recording, and a whole lot more. Whatever route you decide to go, your webinar system should be easy to use. So just make sure that it is so you can focus on delivering a fantastic performance and connecting with your audience. So let's recap what you need to do right now. Number 1, double check your hardware and make sure everything is set up right, and you have the gear you need to deliver a fantastic webinar. Number 2, upgrade your mic and camera if you can. And number 3, determine which software system you'll use to market and host your webinar. In the next video, I'll share with you how to sell your products and services on a webinar without feeling slimy. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.